Crypto investing part one. We are broadcasting live from Miami Beach. I'm down here for a vacation, but y'all know I will not leave the people hanging. Real quick before we get started, Ashley, what's going on? A lot of you are going to be watching this playback, and I just want to share with you that this is one of the good things about entrepreneurship. One of the key factors that I preach about when becoming an entrepreneur is that you can set your life up where you can work from anywhere. You can be in London, you can be in Greece, you can be in Spain. You can work from anywhere whenever you become an entrepreneur. If you're setting everything up right. Can y'all hear me? I know this wind is kind of blowing a little bit. Ashley, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Paul, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. It's kind of windy. It's kind of windy out today, but the weather is amazing. So we're going to dig into crypto investing this month. Crypto investing is it's a broad range of things. It's a broad range of things, but I'm going to be summing it up as best I can, just to put it into layman's terms. That way everybody can understand it. So for right now, we're going to enter into part one. Part one is just the basics. We're just going to do like a brief overview of crypto. Now, keep in mind, those of you that's watching this playback, feel free to reach out if y'all have questions. This is why I try to get everybody on the Zoom, so that way we can ask the questions here, because somebody else might have a question similar to yours. But if not, if you're catching the playback, feel free to reach out. And then if you got any questions, just let me know. So I created a PowerPoint. So from here moving forward, I will have a PowerPoint for every single Zoom. It's a little more work for me to do, but I mean, I don't care. It don't take me too long to do it. But a lot of people in today's society are visual. A lot of people like to look at what they're taking in, basically. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. I'll be sharing my screen. There we go. Get in here. Where we at? Here we go. There we go. Okay, I'll be minimizing the bar above, so that way y'all can I won't take up too much space. So this is crypto investing part one, basically the beginning. We're not going to get too heavy right now because there's still a lot of people that's out of the loop as far as cryptocurrency goes. So I always start from the beginning. Crypto investing part one. So what is cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is basically just like a form of currency, just like you have the US dollar here in the United States. That's what we have. We have the yen, we have the British pound, you have the Russian ruble, which with everything that's going on with Russia, their currency has dropped dramatically. Like I want to say Russia's lost 98% of its value. And a lot of people are staying away, or some people are saying, get in on the Russian ruble. For all my people out there that's doing Forex, get in on the Russian ruble at 50% off, 75% off. But with the way that Russia is moving and all the sanctions that they're putting on them, don't really know if I would really jump into that. But, teach his own. Some people see devastation, others see opportunity. So, if you want to check it out, then just go ahead and check it out. So why was it created? To be honest with you, depending on what coins you're invested into, or whatever coins you're buying, will determine the use case of that coin, because every coin has a different use case. I want y'all to know that every coin has a different use case. It is not a one size fit all. But what is a one size fit all is that all of these coins are a method of payment. You know, they can be transferred from one person to another, basically like $2 changing hands, and you know, basically value is transferred that way. It was mainly created for a hedge against inflation. Now, as y'all know, I talk about inflation and the banks not giving you nothing in the savings account, and you're better off investing into the actual bank. Inflation is basically here to stay. It's just it's on autopilot. You know, we don't the dollar isn't backed by gold or silver anymore. You can Google gold certificates and silver certificates, and you'll understand what I'm saying. That's when the money was backed by gold and silver, but it's not backed anymore. It's just like they're just, you know, shoveling out money. So that's why the money really don't have a lot of value. So you look at countries like Venezuela and Zimbabwe. Venezuela has a 2,300% inflation rate. Like, to put that in context for you, you know, like in here in the United States, depending on what state you're in, or obviously, but I can go and buy a loaf of bread, $2, you know, maybe $3, depending on the type of brand that I get for the bread. But in Venezuela, you might go in there and buy a loaf of bread for like 80,000 Venezuelan dollars, which that happens when you inflate the money too much. And Venezuela has a lot of corruption over there too. So it ain't no telling what's really going on over there. But I do know that their currency is inflated high. Zimbabwe is something similar. It's like you're gonna pay $8,000 to $10,000 or $50,000. It basically is like an astronomical amount to buy a loaf of bread. You know, and if a lot of these countries don't get a grip on the inflation, if they just printing up money whenever they feel like it, then we're going to start to slip somewhere near, you know, those other countries. I'm not saying that we'll get all the way where Venezuela and Zimbabwe is, but we got to put a lid on things before it gets out of control. Now, another thing that crypto does is it keeps the government out of your business. Now, some people agree with this, some people disagree with this. I'll let you be the determining factor on which way you want to go with it. There are a lot of people that do not want the government knowing their every move. Some people feel like this is a direct threat on the Constitution. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I think that would be relative, you know, depending on which side of the spectrum that you're looking on. If I had to gauge it personally, I think that some things do need government regulation, but some things don't need government regulation. So, you know, that's my stand on it. I'm like 50-50 on it. But basically, it was just one of the things that people were thinking about when they created it. It can be used as an investment. Now, we talk about investments all the time. I know a lot of you are my Facebook friends. We talk about crypto, stock market. We talk about real estate. We talk about all of these things. And basically, majority of the people that buy cryptocurrency use it as an investment vehicle. You know, Bitcoin has been referred to as digital gold. So basically, you're able to buy it and store it. When you store it, of course, nobody really knows you got it. So you don't have to really advertise that you got it unless you want to. But it just like gold, the longer you hold it, the more in value that it goes up. And also in the last 5 years, Bitcoin has outperformed gold too. Some people say that gold is better than Bitcoin. Some people say that Bitcoin is better than gold. I don't know. It just depends on if you like having physical gold where you can touch it versus Bitcoin is like digital gold. It's kind of kept like on a cold wallet or hard wallet, which we'll cover here in a second. But it's totally up to you, you know, whichever way that you want to go with it. There are a lot of people that do not trust the US dollar. How can anything have value if it can be printed? Now, this I agree with, because sometimes when the government prints money, I don't think that they should be printing money, and I don't think that I think that they should just find another way to do things. But I'm not a politician. I don't run the money printer. I don't run the government. They probably won't never let me become a politician. You know, even though I might run in a minute. I don't know. If I run, I'm gonna need y'all to vote for me. But every time they, just like when Biden printed up that, no, not Biden, but Trump did the $2 trillion stimulus package, and then Biden printed up some more money. Hold on, real quick. Somebody got a question. Dominic, what's going on, brother? I see you. When they printed up the $2 trillion a couple of years ago, that made all the money that was already in existence worth less. So that's why, like, the mega rich people, they don't like when they print money, because your $100 million net worth can go to $90 million only because they printed more money, not because you spent 10 million, but because somebody hit prints on a printing press and spit out more dollars. So that makes all the dollars that's in rotation worth less. That's very important. That's very important. If y'all know, Microsoft bought Activision. Microsoft had the largest cash reserve. I won't say it's Apple, then Microsoft had the largest cash reserve when it comes to companies in the stock market. But Microsoft spent that money on Activision because he does not want his dollars sitting around and getting ate up by inflation. He said, where can we put this money where it will gain value instead of keeping it in the bank where it loses value? I always tell y'all that a bank is a graveyard for your money. The average interest rate for a savings account is 0.01%. If you invest into Citibank, the actual company, the yearly dividend is 3.6%. So, you know, go figure. It'll take you like 360 years to get what the investor gets in the city stock if you got a bank account. So, you know, you have to hold that bank account 360 years to get 3.6%, which is crazy. Now, if y'all Google it, it's what I want y'all to do. This is why a lot of older people tell you to keep your money in the bank. If you Google it, the banks used to give you 7 to 10% return on your money that you had in the bank. They used to give you that. But now they've been slowly decreasing that number. And now it's basically been decreased down to nothing at all. Nothing. I call 0.01% nothing. That's what it is. You know, so I like Bitcoin for that. You know, Bitcoin or whatever currency that you choose to invest in as a as a hedge against inflation. Hold on. Anquinette, can you hear me? Hold on, let me make sure. I want to make sure everybody can hear me real quick. So, Nico, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Anquinette, can you hear me? I can hear you, but it's low sounding. Let me log off and log back in. Yeah, because everybody else can hear me, only you can. Yeah, log out and log back in. I got you. Okay. Exit out this. So I do like Bitcoin. I think that or crypto in general, I think that it serves a bunch of different purposes. Let me check this. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. Okay, Dominic said he can hear me just fine. Yeah, Anquinette, try to log in, log out, and log back in. I love it as a hedge against the US dollar. I tell you all the time, stop saving money. Stop saving money. It'll get you nowhere. You always want to keep the money moving. AT&T got their money moving. McDonald's got their money moving. Wells Fargo got their money moving. Saks Fifth got their money moving. Louis Vuitton got their money moving. Why is your money parked? It's a big problem. Fix it. Okay. So let's get into use cases because this is a deep hole right here. This is like super deep. I don't want to get too deep into this because I feel like that this right here is it it needs to be like its own Zoom. We'll probably cover that. We'll probably cover that either on the second or the third Zoom, the cryptocurrency use cases. All cryptocurrencies are a method of exchange. Let me make sure. Okay. All right, cool. You got it now. Okay. All cryptocurrencies are means of exchange. So basically, every time you hand over $1 to a person and then they hand it to another person, they're exchanging money. But you can hand over your crypto, or not hand over, but you can transfer your crypto. Websites got it now where you can accept cryptocurrencies as a method of payment for, for your website platform, which I feel like, that opened up a serious door right there. I absolutely love it. But just for the argument's sake, we're just going to stick with OneCoin being just a mean of exchange. So if you look at Tesla, you can buy a Tesla with Bitcoin. He suspended it for a while. I don't know if he added it back. I don't know. Y'all can Google that on your own. And you can buy Tesla. You could have bought a Tesla with Dogecoin. So Tesla accepted Dogecoin as a method of payment too. So you got people like Tesla, you got people like Mark Cuban. I remember when 50 Cent dropped the album, this has been like some years ago, and 50 Cent accepted Bitcoin as a method of payment for his album. And I think that people like 50 Cent, people like Kanye are always like, they're ahead of the curve. It seems like in the moment, like they're crazy or they're off, but then like some years go past and they done made an extra $3 billion over the last, 365 days. So I feel like cryptocurrency is definitely the move. 50 Cent is ahead of his time. Kanye is ahead of his time. Elon Musk ahead of his time. Jeff Bezos ahead of his time. You have a lot of people that are ahead of their time. So it's like it's a means of exchange, and this list will only get bigger. It was Odell Beckham Jr. I want to say it was Odell Beckham Jr. Don't quote me 100% on that. I'm about 80 on it. But he said that he wanted his contract in Bitcoin. He said he wanted his contract in Bitcoin. This was right before Bitcoin took a dip too. But I mean, I'm pretty sure he knows that if he holds it longer, then, the value will continue to, to increase just over time. Same way with the stock market, but the stock market is different because you can look up Apple's financials or Tesla financial. You can see if they made earnings versus Bitcoin. You really don't know. You can only read the charts. That's it. The dollar loses value every time they print it. This is why millionaires and billionaires don't hold on to money. You got a lot of people like Bill Gates that bought into Activision because they don't want money sitting. Now, I understand if you're saving for an investment, there's nothing wrong with saving for an investment. But if you're saving just to be saving, inflation is going to eat you alive. Inflation is going to eat you alive. Bill Gates knows this. Warren Buffett knows this. Elon Musk knows this. Jeff Bezos knows this. Everybody knows this, except for the majority of people. And I don't even know if they care. You know what I'm saying? But you care, so that's why I'm explaining it to you. So that's very important to, keep your money moving. If you're saving for an investment, that's good. But if you're saving just to be saving, then, I would recommend you to, find a vehicle to grow your money in. And it's not a bank. It's not a bank. I'm being honest with you. So that's pretty much that. So the thing about crypto is it's unregulated. It keeps the government out of your business. They don't really know how much money you have. So let's talk about this for a minute. If you're able to buy some Bitcoin and keep it in a wallet, and keep it in a wallet on the side where it's not, where people can't see it. they don't really know you have it. You can be a secret millionaire or billionaire, and you don't have to pay any taxes on it. I'm not saying that you should avoid taxes. I'm just saying that you should do whatever it is that you feel necessary to do. If they don't know you have it, then they don't know you have it, because it's a lot of things that goes on in the world behind the scenes that we don't see, that we wouldn't necessarily agree with, but it still goes on. So they don't really know how much money you have. If you look on Netflix, it's a series called Explain, and you look up billionaires. They don't really know how many billionaires there really is, because how billionaires do it is they set up things on like an offshore island, and then they transfer money from this island to this island, and then they transfer it to another country where it's unregulated, and then transfer it to another country, and then transfer it to another country, and then put it in their pocket. So it's really hard to track down how much every single person is worth. It's I don't think that they'll ever do it, but they do this to keep people, one, out of their business, and two, so it won't get taxed, keep getting taxed just like everything else, and they do this legally, that's why these lawyers get paid so many millions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars to basically make this happen. You know what I'm saying? Look, check out the show Billionaires. Next time you get on Netflix, I know y'all be watching the what everybody watching now. I think Power's back on. I think Snowfall is back on. Hey, Ashley, I need you to mute yourself.
Areas where they do little stuff with other people.
Okay. There we go. So everybody's watching Snowfall, and I like all of those shows. Don't get me wrong, but if you look at it, this is why a lot of people are broke, because they spend their whole life being entertained, and then they look up and their retirement isn't enough for them to live off of. It's just that's just what it is, but they spent thousands of hours, probably millions of hours being entertained. Once you calculate how many hours it is in a person's life, they probably spent over 1 million hours being entertained. You know what I'm saying? So let's change that. Let's cut it down to, 500,000 hours of entertainment, and then 500,000 hours of education. Something that's going to help you in the future and help you to be a better person, help you to be a better man, help you to be a better woman. Let's lean in towards, things like that. So it's unregulated, keeps the government out of your business, keeps your money safe. If your money is on a hard wallet, they don't know how much you have. This is why it's more billionaires than what's on the Forbes list or what's documented. They don't know how many billionaires it is, because everybody ain't got their money in the bank. Everybody doesn't have their money in an investment for everybody to see. They just don't have it accessible like that. Some people don't even want to be on the Forbes list, because as soon as you hit the Forbes list, here comes the IRS knocking at your door. And now you got to figure out why you did it, and you got to give them $200-300 million only because you wanted to be listed on the Forbes list. So you got some people that avoid the Forbes list. Y'all look it up. Everything that I'm telling y'all look it up. So you got a couple different ways to store it. You got a hot wallet and you got a cold wallet. You know what I'm saying? The hot wallet is basically, those are your crypto.com. I like crypto.com. I got some crypto. I got my crypto.com on there. What I got on there? I got crypto.com on there. I got some Shiba. I got Shiba Inu on there. And then what else I got? I think it's like one other one that I ain't really got a whole lot of money in. But I got it right there on crypto.com. I like crypto.com. You got your Coinbase. A lot of you got Coinbase. I got Coinbase. That's where really I got majority of my crypto on is Coinbase. But then it's other sites like BlockFi, and you got Binance. You got a bunch of different platforms that you can use to keep your crypto on. You don't have to, you don't have to use a cold wallet. Now, the cold wallet, because you got a hot wallet and a cold wallet. They can see the hot wallet. They can't see the cold wallet. Now, what the cold wallet does is it allows you to basically upload your crypto to like a flash drive. I mean, it's not, I'm not called, I'm pretty sure they got a flash drive, but that's not what it's called. But I'm gonna call it a flash drive for now. So you upload it and it's on the flash drive and they don't know you have it. So look at it like this. If you was to up and go to, I don't know, you go to Hong Kong, you fly from New York to Hong Kong. If you want to transfer $100 million, how long will it take for you to transfer $100 million to Hong Kong? I'm thinking a month, maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking somewhere around a month or at least 2 weeks for you to transfer that money. But you can literally upload all your Bitcoin or Ethereum, whichever one you're into. You can upload that on a flash drive, put it on a plane with you, fly, probably take you about 20 hours to get to Hong Kong, fly to Hong Kong, get off the plane, upload your Bitcoin, and all of your money is there. So you just transferred $100 million in one day. Crypto has so many use cases, and it's so many different reasons why people do it. Everybody that invests in the crypto, they don't invest in the crypto for exactly the same thing. Some people just don't like inflation. They want something that keeps up with inflation. Some people want to make it where everybody's not in their business. Some people want to stake the crypto. You know, we're going to talk a little bit about staking on part 4 of the crypto. Some people just want a different form of currency outside of the dollar or whatever your national currency is. And, you know, everybody has a different goal with it, you know. So you got to figure out, you want a hot wallet, you want a cold wallet. I mean, I feel like until I get like $100 million or something like that, you know, then I'm cool with the hot wallet. But once I start getting once the dollars really start rolling in, I'll probably go transfer to the cold wallet, because I just can't afford for somebody to just be looking at my account and figuring out like what they can do to get a piece of it. I don't know, it's weird, but that's just me. You know, I got some people that got they $200 worth of crypto on a cold wallet, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Crypto helps people. So those of you that know me, either through Facebook or even personally, I know DJ Popped In is one of my great friends, great childhood friends of mine. Been knowing him. We got at least 20 years of friendship, probably more between us. I always like to help people. It's all about raising people up out of poverty. You know, people that didn't have nothing, now they have something, you know, because if you can help people to acquire assets and money, then you can bring down the poverty rate. Because y'all know people get shot, and people are getting shot every day, especially where I'm from. It's like you see dead bodies popping up, and I don't even really like watching the news no more. You know, it's always something. And a lot of this has to do with, one, the lack of jobs, which is a lot of jobs now, so really can't use that. But I would just say the lack of money, you know, because a lot of people think that they can just go to work and work the rest of their life, and then they retire and they get to live. And then you got a lot of people that knows that ain't what they want. It's more to life than just doing that, you know, and they rather take a chance in order to live the life that they want to live. And I'm not saying nobody is right or wrong. I'm just saying that you got to accept everything that comes with your decision, because sometimes your decision could cost you your life. So I feel that crypto offers an alternative for people to invest and grow their money in order to live the life that they want to. You know, it's kind of like the stock market and other vehicles. Crypto allows you to grow your money. It allows you to grow it without letting anyone know that it's growing. Crypto has the means to lift people up from poverty. The government doesn't like crypto, but the people has accepted it. Now, as of right now, the government really don't like crypto. It's just they just don't like it because they can't regulate it, they can't oversee it, they can't view it, they don't know if these people are legit, if these people are not, but the people have embraced it. So it's here to stay. The government is the government because of the people, not because of the government. Okay, who owns crypto? There are a lot of different coins that you can invest into. Some people are known and some people are not. This is why crypto is a big risk to the government. They can't regulate it properly. Anything that the government cannot regulate, it wants to it wants to get rid of, just like they did with marijuana. So speaking on this right here, the government it's a lot of people that's in California locked up for selling marijuana, smoking marijuana. It's like people got a lot of time. You got a lot of people, they was dropping off like bales and bales and bales of marijuana, you know, whether they was getting it shipped in or whether they was growing it there. And those people got locked up. Those people are still in jail. And now that the government has found a way to tax it and regulate it and get a piece of the pie, now it's legal. Now it's legal. Now you can go to California. I don't know if any of you have been to California, but I have, and you can walk right into California and stop at any dispensary shop. You can stop at any shop. You can grab your blunt. You can grab you an eighth. You can grab you an ounce. You know, you can grab you a half a pound. You can smoke freely, walk and smoke on the beach. You can get stoned on the beach. And that's now the reality. But you have people that grew up in the 80s and the 70s and even in the 60s that are still in jail for marijuana. And I think that something needs to be changed to let those people out of jail now that they have legalized it and those people were not wrong. But hey, what do I know? You know what I'm saying? But if I get in office, it's definitely gonna happen for sure. I'm at least put the bill on the table. Investing in the crypto is a risk for the government, you know, and for people because of these factors, because you got some coins like, just in my opinion, like Safe Moon, Safe Mars. They're just like I don't want to say it's a Ponzi scheme because I think that may be a stretch, but I'm gonna call it just that, just for the sake of this video. I'm gonna call it that because it doesn't really have a use case. Yeah, it has the same use case as every other coin, transferring payments in exchange, but it really doesn't have nothing outside of that. And we don't know who owns it. So, you know, I just think that if we didn't know who owns it, but it had like a use case and other stuff, then it'll be good. But I feel like it's just too many determining factors that we don't know that makes either Safe Moon or Safe Mars maybe a coin to stay away from. You know, if you want to try to get in and get out, if you want to try to gamble with it, I say go for it. But if you're really trying to build a portfolio up, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that it'll be the best for that, which we're going to talk about that in part 3 also, you know? So it's just my 2 cents. Everything in life is a risk. I don't know anything. Like when you walk out of your door, you risk getting hit by a car. Or when you're at home sleep, a meteor can come right out of space and slam right into your house and kill everybody, even you, everybody in your house, everybody on your block. It can happen. Every time you get in your car, you're driving, you can get to a car accident. Semi can just swerve over and hit you. It's a risk. Now, does these things happen? Yes, absolutely. But what is the odds of a meteor coming from outer space and slamming right into not your state, let alone slamming right into the United States, and then slamming into your state, and then slamming into your city, and then slamming in to your exact neighborhood? I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm just saying that the odds are maybe like 1 in 300 million or some type of astronomical number like that. No one can measure any risk for the next person. You have to do that for yourselves. Only you can answer that. So if somebody tells me something, it may be risky to me, but it may not be risky for them. So risk is determined by the actual person that's taking the so-called risk. So some people say that investing in the stock market is risky. And once I look at Apple's chart and I see that it was trading at $49 in 2020, and now it's $165, it's grown over 200% in the last 3 years, it's not really risky. You know, me knowing that Apple has $2 billion in cash on hand, and then they got no, not 2 billion, sorry, $200 billion in cash, and then they got $1 billion in debt. A lot of people may say that that's risky, but Apple has enough money to pay off all of their debt and still have $100 billion left in their pocket. They always make positive earnings. They got 25 different streams of income, you know. So to me, Apple is not a risk. And yeah, it is a risk. It's just not as risky as the person that's saying that it's a risk. You know, they thinking like, man, it's super risky. But for me, it's like a low to moderate risk, you know, with investing in the Apple, you know. Or somebody, I got a buddy, man, he loves Safe Moon. And he loves Safe Mars. That's all he talks about. I'm getting into Safe Moon, Safe Mars, Safe Moon, Safe Mars. I'm like, that's what's up. But when I look at Safe Moon and Safe Mars, it's more of a risk to me because one, I don't like it's just a use case that transfers money. Two, it's not in the top 10 of all cryptos. Three, it has a low market cap. Four, it really doesn't have a functionality like that comparable to the top crypto coins, along with a couple of other things, you know, that I just don't like about it. But that doesn't mean that it's bad. That just means that it's my opinion that it's bad because it's too risky, and it's more coins out there with less risk and a lot of upside for me to gauge, you know. So risk is only measured by you. Inflation is now 7.5%. So listen, you cannot sit around and do nothing. The worst thing you can do is nothing. Keeping your money in the bank, the banks will not even give you 1%. They won't even give you 1/10 of 1%. They will give you 100th of 1% per year. You will not get anywhere like that. That is for sure. Leveling up, you know, the worst person you can be is who you were a year ago. This is why I always like push the bar. I always push myself, and I consider it more of a gift than a curse because I don't want to get comfortable with where I'm at. You know, I always want to be growing, exploring, trying new things, creating new courses, helping more people. I always want to push myself to the limit. Sometimes I be getting, you know, sometimes it can be a lot on me. And other times I really feel motivated and I really feel empowered, you know, but that's me. But you push yourself to where you feel like your limit is, but don't get comfortable in where you are. You should be leveling up every single year. And I mean that financially, spiritually, growing your knowledge, learn something new. It don't cost you, it don't cost you nothing. I think that the lack of knowledge costs you more than actually the knowledge itself. You know what I'm saying? But just level up every single year. So that's it. That's it. I'm not gonna hold y'all more longer than I gotta hold y'all. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go ahead and stop this right here. Okay, there we go. What time is it? Oh, we made good time. So that's pretty much it. You know, that's crypto part one. We just hit the basics. Keep in mind, we got 3 more weeks of this, you know, and we're gonna hit it hard. And it's a lot. I'm gonna get into as much detail as I can, like as much detail as I can. So do y'all got any questions for me? Is there anybody on here that got any questions?
Yes, Davern.
You said Davern?
Yes.
What's your question?
So I want to put my money into Robinhood and, let it sit there and grow. Do you know? I got to do my research, but do you know how much it's growing in Robinhood?
I can't hear you. You sound far away. You got to come to the microphone.
Okay, hold on. Bluetooth off. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You good?
Okay, I was saying I want to put my money in Robinhood. I know I got to do more research. I just been busy, but I want to know offhand. Do you know how much it's growing when I sit it in Robinhood?
So Robinhood is giving you 3%, if I'm not mistaken. Robinhood is giving you 3%. So if I was to leave my money, I think leaving your money in Robinhood is good because for one, if you don't have Robinhood Gold, it's gonna take your money like 2 to 3 days to clear after you add it on there. And for two, they give you like 3% return of the money that you just got sitting on Robinhood. So that way it's easier for you to make an investment.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Anybody else got any questions? I ain't gonna hold that longer than I need to.
Hey, Willie, you had mentioned last week about wanting to show a video, the one video that you had showed last time. So I don't know if you were wanting to just do that on a different day.
Oh, yeah. We got it. I'm glad you said that. We about to watch it. So does anybody got any other questions before we watch this?
Willie, this Antoinette, quick question. You said the money that sits on Robinhood gains that 3%. How do we know is there a way for us to find out how much we actually gain from the money sitting?
So basically what Robinhood does, it pays out. Does Robinhood pay it out month? I want to say they pay it out every 3 months. So basically you have an amount there, and then Robinhood lets you know like you got an interest payment. You got an interest payment based off the money that you got sitting on there. So
okay.
Robinhood will notify you. They'll notify you that you got the interest payment, and then it'll have the amount right there on that.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go and look. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. There we go. Where you vacationing at? Charles, I'm in Miami. Oh, everybody, I'm in Miami right now too. I started to somebody was like, man, you gonna do the Zoom call in Miami? Listen, I wouldn't care where I'm at. I'm doing a Zoom call everywhere. That's a good thing. I explained in the beginning just about being an entrepreneur. I'm not saying that it's easy and that you don't have to put in like a lot of work, but you'll be able to work from wherever. You can work from London, you can work from Spain, you can work from Miami, you can work from LA. You know what I'm saying? If you set it up like that, you can work from anywhere. And that'll really make your life a lot better, you know, because now you get the vacation and work, you know? So your whole life will be a vacation. You just got to do a little bit of work sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So we're about to start this real quick. Let me share my screen. Let's see. Man makes I think it's $12 an hour. Here we go. Here we go, y'all.
13. Not long ago, I met Earl Crawley.
How you doing?
But everyone here calls him Mr. Earl.
Yeah, we can talk about some finance.
He's worked as an attendant at this parking lot in Baltimore for 44 years.
So you really think it's going to improve the gas?
Funny thing though, everyone was asking Mr. Earl about money.
Nickel and dime, nickel and dime.
Is that booth his pulpit where he's preaching the gospel of investing?
Sure is. He makes my day every time I see him.
Oh, come on, dude. Seriously. Investing?
How you like that gold now?
600. Earl told me he's never made more than $12 an hour. Never earned more than $20,000 a year.
How you doing?
So how could he know something about corporate profits? I had to bribe. So Earl, what's your net? $500,000. From working here. That's amazing.
A net statement.
And there it is in his statements. Over $500,000 net worth on a parking lot wage. Now Mr. Earl had my full attention. How did he do it?
Stop working so hard and let the money work for you.
Earl's first lesson came at age 13. His mother had him working the fruit stalls to help pay the family bills. He got to keep just a few quarters for himself.
Time my mother started taking my money that I earned on Lexington Market, that it wasn't money just to be thrown away. It was there to be used.
Economics aside, Earl had another obstacle to overcome.
Table is
He tells me he's dyslexic. Back in the 50s, that meant settling for a life of low-wage manual labor jobs. So Earl figured he'd better sock away what little money he was making. It was just $1 here and $1 there, starting with savings stamps, and that led to savings bonds. At 26, he got married. And by the late 60s, Earl was feeding 3 children on a meager $80 a week.
It was tough, but because we had to sacrifice a lot.
And the budget only got tighter when Earl and Beverly opted to send their kids to Catholic school instead of public school, which was free. Earl took extra jobs to pay the tuition, and you better believe he made every penny count.
Elementary school, I would ask for lunch money, and he would give me $1. Lunch was 85 cents, and he would reply before I walked out the door, "I want my change."
As the years rolled by, Earl kept saving what seemed like meaningless amounts. He started investing $25 each month into a mutual fund and did that consistently for 15 years. By the late 70s, his net worth was $25,000.
Later, as the children got older, he decided to play the stock market. And he bought 1 share, and well, the rest is history.
He bought stock in blue chips like IBM and Coca-Cola that paid dividends, and
instead of taking the dividends and pocketing it, let it set or let it reinvest itself, and it increased my shares. The more shares I had, the more dividend I had. Eventually, the more money I had down the road.
so where did the so-called slow learner learn so much about mutual funds and blue chips and dividend reinvestment plans?
I want to split this year up.
It all comes back to that parking lot. And this is my favorite part of Earl's story. You see, his lot is smack dab in the middle of a financial district where you pick the brains of brokers and bankers and lawyers for their financial advice.
You got any advice for me today in the markets?
No, I'm just trying to find out something from you.
All right.
Talk to everybody and listen to advice that everybody give me and take it from there.
Earl, why don't we take a look at what you've got in the portfolio now?
Earl had trouble reading, so instead, he listened. He believed in the power of compound interest and stocks for the long haul, which brings us back to the present. Today, Earl's stock portfolio alone is worth more than $500,000. And yes, his house is paid for. And no, he doesn't carry any credit card debt.
He's somebody to emulate, not only as an investor, but as an individual, and how to live your life and make the best of what the Lord gave you.
Now, Earl is paying it forward.
Here comes Brenda.
He's gifting shares from his portfolio to people like Brenda Thomas, who never dreamed they could have enough money to invest.
And that was before.
Because you told me to reinvest my dividends, I now have 77 shares.
I'm excited about it. I wouldn't have it if it wasn't for Mr. Earl. And he made it so easy.
If you don't have the money for the
And
whole
not
share,
only is he gifting
this
shares
is
to a local church, he's starting an investment club there to get everyone invested.
Our goal is every member of the church will own stock. And then they're going to transfer it to their family members. So starting here, it's just going to blow up.
it makes me feel good to see someone actually going on and took my advice and went on and did it. That's really a good feeling.
So from his little green shack, Earl is helping others and preaching the gospel of investments. And at the end of my day with Mr. Earl, he told me his good fortune happened not in spite of, but because of his disability.
I always used to say that I must have been the dumbest thing in school or the dumbest thing to couldn't learn, but God gave me the gift to listen and act behind it, and it's one of the best things I ever had to me.
Okay, so that was a guy invested started $25 a week. He raised three kids, had a wife, and his net worth is $500,000. And that video is 7 years old. So he probably had at least $1 million by now, if not more. You seen he was dyslexic. So that's why when people be like, I want to invest, but I don't have this, or I don't have this, or I don't make enough, and they got all of these excuses that's going on. No. Nope. No excuses. Make it happen. Find a way to make it happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. That's it. I'm about to probably create the next PowerPoint for the next Zoom. Y'all got any questions for me? No questions. All right, I'll let y'all go. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm probably gonna do the next Zoom from down here too. I'm gonna be down here for a minute. I'm gonna do the next Zoom here. Y'all, those of you that's watching the playback, if y'all got any questions, feel free to reach out. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We are now a team. We're like a family. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna continue to keep everybody in the loop. And I want to help everybody to create generational wealth. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Peace.